So with the heat wave yet again, we figure might as well just take you around and show you how we do our daily chores. We do these twice a day.
Too hot to do anything else.
Pretty much, like Shelby said, too hot to do anything else. We come up, we feed the 2 calves and the goat, and top their water up.
I know.
So they get their grain and they get their water topped up twice a day. Now we'll move on, go do the pigs. And the pigs, they get fed and their water topped up twice a day as well. As you can tell, they're very noisy.
They need to go for the feed like this all the time. Since we started adding some of the raw milk to it, they just go crazy. Need some more?
Yeah, a little more would be good. Hold on, buddy. Kick in all the corn husks that they've pushed out. So they'll sit there, they'll eat all that up. Like I said, we also fill up their water. Here Shelby is, topping the water up. You gonna need another one? Oh, it'll help. Hold on. Hold on. Might as well top it up with both. Never mind. Okay. So they get their water topped up, they get their feed, and then Shelby puts feed in the bucket. Feed them barley, and then we soak it with Rose's milk from that night that we don't take off. Here. Shelby explain to you what she's doing there.
Once I get to the bottom here, we give them barley and the grain. And I have found that the pigs aren't particularly fond of the barley if it's not soaked in milk. So I've learned to put the barley at the bottom, so when it's dumped out, the barley's on top, and they have to eat through that to get to the feed. Pigs assuming you would eat anything, but they're particular.
And then on top of the soak feed, we normally give them a couple scoops of just dry feed, and they eat it up.
Here.
So we're done here with the pigs and the calves and cane. So we'll go over to the other pasture now, and we'll put some hay out for Rose, and then we'll do the chicks and the turkeys. So another thing we do is we put hay out for Rose because she has her pasture pretty well eaten down. So we're gonna put a couple bales out for her so she has something to eat. Put them back there.
Might as well. We always try to find a spot where she's got the grass eaten almost to nothing. 2, 3, 4, 5 different places already. That way, it's got a little extra over winter, and we stand a better chance to grow the grass back stronger next year.
Because the seed will make the grass come up fairly well.
She likes to spread it all on her own. By tomorrow, this whole area, probably 20 or 30 feet around, will be covered. So while we were doing the corn, now would be the time I would call her over and show her the hay was here. Mind you, she'll find it on her own. Give her the corn. She'll leave us alone then, coming or going. But we're all out of the corn, so she's had her feed. She'll wander over here shortly for this, and we're going to carry on to do the rest of the birds. So this is a new tractor we built this year. It's built with the same idea, but a little different style. Last year we only had a 4x4 opening, whereas this one is a 4x8 opening.
4x10.
4x10? There you go.
You gotta put the brace in the middle to make it a little easier to pull. But right now we can pull it with one on either side.
Yep. So we would normally move them more frequent. These guys have been here about a week. But where there's only 7 in here, it takes them a lot longer to do any damage to the grass. And they have plenty to eat, so. Good? Pretty close?
Yeah, we're literally right at the
Right
end.
on the edge. Excellent.
You want to reset the camera? These guys touch the button on the top of right for it to come back on if it's not on.
It's the only downside to giving them the shade with a tarp. You either poke holes in it and they get wet, or you're forever scooping water out, because lately our weather can't make up its mind. We have a monsoon and a heat wave. Today was 42 plus humidity Celsius, and in the middle of it we had rain. Didn't change the temperature any, but
If anything, it made it more humid.
Yeah, if anything, it made it worse, yeah. And we've learned from experience from last year, trying to feed the broilers or the turkeys with an actual, feeder, they knock it over, and you spend longer trying to pull it back out of the tractors than what it takes to do half the chores. And they prefer to eat it off the ground anyway. So now we just toss it in, and they're just as happy to take the time and energy, and it gives them something to do.
They also get their water topped up twice a day. And as you can hear Rose coming. She's done in the barn and has come out looking for her hay. So she'll come over here in a minute. She'll go right for the hay. But we do the chickens, they get their water topped up usually once a month or so, or if we know there's a heat wave coming, we'll add the electrolytes to their water. We found last year, if it was hot, we were losing birds. Once we started using electrolytes, we didn't lose any birds. So
we knew the heat wave was coming this time. So the day before, I actually gave them electrolytes in foresight of the heat coming.
I just want to...
You can't use it too many days in a row either to make them sick.
Yeah, you can only use it for so many days. But I want to get over here because Rose is outside. I'm going to call her over, and you can see her come over and go right at her hay like no tomorrow. Come on, Rose! Rose! Any other time I yell for her, she comes running. But of course, because I have the camera on, she's not going to come running.
She's camera shy. Oh, she hears you.
Rose!
I know livestock are
Here she
pets
comes.
in a sense,
You want to make sure...
but livestock aren't, I guess, technically pets. But Rose, especially with Corey, tends to act more like a puppy.
Come here! You see, she comes a running. Oh, and she
Yeah.
spotted it. She didn't even have to come over to me.
To heck with you, Dad. I got hay.
Yeah. So, there she is. She's found her hay, and now that's where she'll stay until she's had her fill. So,
Turkey time.
yep. Gonna head up to the turkeys now. Here's our 9 turkeys. We lost one, but here's the 9, and we're gonna move them ahead into the pasture. So
Now this tractor is substantially taller because the size of the turkey. Which of course obviously makes it that much heavier to move. And the issue is now we're trying to go through a small gate from one pasture to the other. Fingers crossed. I know it'll fit, but it's not going to be easy. The ground is uneven and we should be able to just go right ahead there. Depending on this hole here, we're going to have to go past the hole. Or cover the hole.
I figure cover it.
There may only be 9 of them, but they decimate the ground in a hurry. They've only been here a couple days. And we were going to move it yesterday, but things came up, so we had no choice but move it today.
Alright.
Watch those cuts and don't fit.
You got to pull that back end over.
Any more?
Nope. Straight in there. I just want to make sure you can get through there fine.
Well, I'm going to have to go so far and then...
Yep.
Are you through?
Yep.
Go your way here. There you go.
There. Come on, turkey lurkey.
Watch your snoot.
go. Oh, hold up. Now we're going to go a little further. We in? I think so.
Yeah.
A little further.
Go another little bit. There we go. Perfect.
You want to move the camera? Oh, it was right on the.
Now, not sure if anybody's picked up on it or not,
I'll grab the water.
but all the pasture here, which you can see is quite grown, we actually seeded this earlier in the year. I think there's part of it on a video. Ironically enough, we put the effort in, we tried to level it the best we could, we seeded it. And then you look over here, inside this part, none of this was leveled or seeded. You look down the fence line, it's kind of hard to tell one from the other. The only difference is a little more diversity on what's grown, because we put down a pasture blend, so there's more clover and such. But yeah, overall, it probably would have just came up all on its own. But now at least I know it's a little more level for next year, when we let Rose come up through. Although she has found her way up here once before already. That's another story. So this part of the pasture now is where the turkeys will be moved. They're only another 3.5 weeks, I guess, until they get knocked down. And as to be expected, they go crazy for the new grass and the bugs that come with it. Because anybody who spends any amount of time outside, sure, you get bugs and flies and mosquitoes in the grass. But anything that grows wild like this, you might as well multiply them tenfold, because they are ridiculous up here. Horseflies, mosquitoes, plus the cattle flies on top of that. It's enough bugs to carry a person away at times, especially with the heat and then the rain off and on. It's just been pure breeding ground for bugs, earwigs, and mosquitoes. Now that water is one that we're just trying today. It was given to us by a friend of Corey's. We did have a bucket in there with water nipples in it, and these guys kept knocking it over, breaking the cups off, and it's just been hateful. So we're going to give this a try and see how they do with it.
So now we got fed turkeys, happy turkeys, chickens on pasture done. So now we're gonna head down to the baby chicks in the brooder.
So while Corey takes the mule around, I just wanted to show you this before we leave. Might be hard to pick out, but that's squash. That being said, there's one there. And there's one there. There's one. There's a half a dozen. It's kind of hard to tell because it's overgrown, but there's some there. All those yellow leaf ones, you can see the yellow flowers down there. Those are squash. There's 2 or 3 down there farther. And it may be hard to tell on camera as well, but there is a ridge here in the ground, which the grass is noticeably taller than everywhere else because we mowed up here before we brought birds up here. Unbeknownst at the time that this is where we were feeding the pigs compost last year. So I can only assume, because we didn't plant any of this, that this is either remnants from what the pigs had to eat, or it's gone through their system and has sort of self-fertilized. Either way, I'm not complaining. There's also 4 tomato plants I noticed yesterday coming in. Oh, there's a couple more squash. So I'm not going to argue a free garden, and I've been too afraid to maintain it because I'm not sure what all exactly is growing, so I'll just have to wait and see. But some of these are like a good size, and these aren't even the biggest ones. And if you can see, maybe if I can get the camera right, there it is. That's a squash. I'm assuming by the looks of it that it's an acorn squash, and I'm not sure exactly which one now because I saw it yesterday. I think it's this one and one over there have noticeable squash. And they also look like an acorn. But I'll wander over here. And when I say they're literally everywhere, I mean, there's another one, just random. Oh, there it is. But you can still see some hay in under the trees. That's where we were bedding the pigs down because they refused to go in their house last winter after we had some snow. And it seems to have started the growth of even more squash. And these ones are even bigger. Like, they're bigger than my hand here, these leaves. I'm tempted to say this one is a butternut squash or a pumpkin. Someone let me know, because that vine has started to come off the side, and it has creepers and feelers and such. And in here, right there, is a yellow bud off the end of what looks to be a squash growing. So it could be pumpkins, could be butternut. Not really sure. I mean, they're everywhere. And then over here, they go up there and everything. This one I think is the best one so far. Get all the way to the bottom here. It's kind of hard to tell without light. It might be too late in the day to be able to show this to you properly. Squash. And that one is probably the size of my fist. And there's one in there farther I noticed yesterday. He's over here. So, for something I haven't planted, something I haven't had to tend to at all, no fertilizer, no weeding, no watering, I can't really knock it. It's been pretty good. You can really see the decimation to what she's got done to her partial pasture now, in comparison to this. But she's still down there having her hay. So now we'll head down and do the chicks. Just wanted to show you guys that. So here's our chicks. Still 162 from what I can tell. They're just getting up. Corey just plugged the light back in and closed the window in the back there because it's been crazy hot. They've had their electrolytes this morning, something like 8 liters of it, and they haven't drank a whole lot today, probably just because of the heat, but everybody seems to be managing well. They're up and they're active. They did their stretch and their yawn, and now it's playtime again. This is Olivia's favorite thing is the baby chicks. Isn't it, Squirt?
Yeah. I just tried to grab one and hold it. You know, you.
So, you may think they're cold because they're under the light, but I promise you, it is far from cold in there. It's still about 35-ish outside, and we have a breeze. So they're plenty warm, plus with their feathers coming in, it's not going to be long before they don't need the light at all.
Mom?
Yes, sweetheart.
What number is 5, 8, 8, what? Okay, I'm
That's
ready.
not a number, baby.
What number is 2, 8, 8, 8, 9, 8, 7, 8, 6, 0, 5,
It seems like that's how many chickens we have.
6, 6, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 8.
Alright,
9,
so
0, 0,
we'll
10,
just go ahead and start
9, 8,
filling feeders.
7, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5.
I'm surprised that they haven't eaten more today. Normally they clean it completely. We've got 2 larger red line feeders and a smaller one, plus this one that we've got recently. You want to fill this one?
Yes.
You know.
Wait, we bought 2 already?
No, that's the same one. And it works gravity fed, sort of like one of the waters, really. Just comes down through the little holes. They love it. Food is food to them. And as usual, they've got shavings kicked up in their water. So we give them some fresh water, top up their feed, their lights on, their windows closed. No predators are going to get in. They're not big enough to get out anyway. We added some boards across the front of the doorway here because it's not going to be long, as noticed in the last batch, before the door comes open and they decide they want freedom. So that keeps them in.
This is taking forever.
And they're already a week and a half old, so it won't be long, and they will have a nice, pretty set of feathers. Their wings are coming in really good, actually. Very good.
What did it say?
See what this is done. Is it full yet?
What did it say?
It's got to be all the way full.
I'm having a great day. I'm having a great day.
It's good.
I'm great. Bobby took my bag home.
Oh, good. Now, I'll say this. If you can hear Olivia there, she said she's having a great day. We don't normally say too much about the family. Yes, we plaster everything on Facebook now, but that's besides the point. When it comes to specifics of the family, we don't usually say a whole lot, but today's her birthday, and she's very thrilled that she's had such a good day.
It's almost full.
Well, as soon as it's full, we'll put the other end on it so we can stand it out.
Oh, this is taking forever.
Yeah, it takes a while. I am going to fill the other water, but I'm going to give everybody a chance to finish their drink rather than rip it out from in front of them. Almost there.
Oh God.
Good job. Okay. Thank you. Yep. I know, the mosquitoes are bad over here too. I think Manny's waiting to take a nap.
Did they eat me a lot?
Yeah. God love her, she loves to help. I know, guys. There we go. Yeah, I spilled some. You're alright. Not that traumatic, I'm sure. Oh. You're already chicken. Oh. What's it? And I know I've said it at least twice. I'm still in total shock that we haven't lost any out of this batch yet. It just doesn't seem right. Chill out, guys. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm filling it up. Here. There, I won't take this one from you. I'll fill it in here. There you go. Yum, yum. Alright, are you guys done drinking so I can fill that up? Come on, if I don't do it now, it's going to be too dark to do it, guys. There. Watch out. There. So, 4 full feeders, 3 full waters. Good to go again until tomorrow morning.
So we got Rose here in to be milked. So normally we put down some hay, get her in, and what we're going to do is just show you how we milk her. Take a baby wipe and wipe off her teats with it, because you never know, she could have laid in poop or got some on her somehow. Clean them off. Take our milker. Milker is 2 cups. So you do 2 at a time. Get the milker on. You're up the phone. We'll just prime one. Well, prime. One on. Her from behind, her front left quarter and back right quarter are 2 most producing quarters. She'll just stand there, eat her hay while we milk her. Normally, once I'm done, I'll give her her grain, and she'll stay here and eat it. But sometimes she gets a little antsy for whatever reason, and I give it to her while I'm milking her just to keep her in here and calm. But udders, you can tell they're a little bit cool. So we normally milk her twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. Yeah, ain't that right? Is that good? Is that the good stuff? Usually 20 minutes, half hour is all it takes to get her milked. See if I can bring this in a little bit better here. Not very exciting, but it's one of the things you gotta do. Good girl when it comes to milking. She just stands. The odd time she'll kick forward if you're empty and don't realize it. And then once you're done with one quarter, you on to the next one. Onto it. Milk's coming. Normally, we like to try and keep her only in here to milk her and then put her back out of pasture, but with the heat recently, it's much cooler for her to be here in the barn through the day than it is out in the pasture. That way she goes out in pasture, but if she gets warm, she can come in here and lay on the floor. It's concrete floor, it stays cool, and she prefers to be able to lay where it's cool and chew her cud and all that, so we keep it open for her, but once this heat wave's done, we'll be having her just in here to milk her and then putting her back out in the pasture for the majority of the day. I find with her, for whatever reason, she likes to hold back on her milk. So I get this out. We use bag balm because they're just to keep her teats all nice and soft. But I find if I put it on and rub it in, she's easier to milk. So I don't know if she just prefers it on there for milking or what. But And I'll just leave the pump run to build up suction. And then we'll go back here. We'll go one at a time now. See, she has a pretty good flow there. I don't know if you can see that or not. We'll hook one on. And we have a pretty decent flow of it. First little bit anyway. We like to get as much milk as we can, because if we don't, one, she won't produce as much the next time, and two, she could get mastitis, which could lead to sickness and death. When the calves were on her, they chewed up her teats pretty good when they were feeding off her, so that's why we use the baby wipe instead of iodine, because the iodine wash actually dries them out a bit. And then when we were talking to the vet, they said not to until they were healed, and she's pretty well healed up there now. So we'll be moving on to using the iodine wash again here soon. But the bag balm has just cleared her up like no tomorrow. Like I said, it's not the funnest thing to watch, but it's our first milk cow. Actually, her and the calves are our first cows that we've ever had here, so still all a learning curve for us. So far, so good, it seems. Seems to be holding back for some reason, so I can tell she still has milk in there, so I'm just going to put these down, throw her in her grain, so that might be what she wants. Alright, let's see what she's like. Let's see if she's any more. Yeah, that's what she wants. Now she's not holding it back. I've learned to watch her feet, because she will step on you and doesn't realize she's stepping on you. And being the big animal she is, it's a lot of weight to have on your foot. And you can feel she's pretty empty there now. One more round, just to make sure we got as much as we can. Olivia, she loves to come out and brush rows while I'm milking her. And of according to her, Rose is her favorite cow. But, no. She had milk in that front corner, she wasn't letting go. Now we go. So we turn the milker off and go with a little more bag balm. Go around and make sure we get them all again. The back quarter still seems a little full, but there, and that's pretty much it. Once she stops squirting, she's dry. So I'm going to go ahead and pack this stuff up, and then we'll show you when we spray her down. And over on this side, we'll get her. I know the lighting's pretty poor, but this will help keep the flies off her. Alright, I got the door closed so it's a little darker, but what we have here is peppermint water that Shelby mixes up. And I'll just unhook Rose because sometimes she likes it, sometimes she don't. Ain't that right? Take this. There she is, eating her hay. But we'll spray both sides of her with it. Try not to get in her face, but around here, and then we'll come around this side of her.